Hello and welcome to my Premier League Game Week 36 predictions. Not many games to go now in the Premier League. We've got some big games. Liverpool, Chelsea tomorrow. West Ham, Arsenal, the big one on Sunday afternoon. And can Spurs get themselves back in back in contention they're already staying up, but after their win last week over Villa, can they keep winning and beat Leeds on Monday night? We'll have to wait and see. So let's just dive straight into my Game Week 36 Premier League predictions. And jumping straight into the 12:30 kickoff where we have Liverpool taking on Chelsea. Chelsea have lost 6 straight Premier League matches, their worst run since 1993. This one takes place at Anfield. Liverpool did lose away at Manchester United last time out over their local rivals. A bit of a disappointing defeat there. Chelsea did lose at home to Nottingham Forest, and they did beat Leeds in the Cup. Do have an FA Cup final to look forward to. I think that's in a couple of weeks, or is it next week? I'll tell you when it is. It is actually next week. So yeah, they'll have to look forward to that. Liverpool lost 18 matches in all competitions this season. Their most since 2009-10 season. They've lost 11 league matches this season. Their most since 2014-15 season under Brendan Rodgers. Liverpool conceded 2 or more goals in 16 Premier League matches, their most with 2012 since 2012-2013. I should say. Szoboszlai is the first Liverpool midfielder with 10 plus goals and 10 plus assists since Gerrard 2013-14 as well. Chelsea lost 6 consecutive Premier League games, as I said, for the first time since 1993. Chelsea have conceded 13 straight league games. Their longest run since 1991. Scored 2 goals in their last 5 games as well. Earlier in the season, 2-1 home win for Chelsea over Liverpool on the 4th of October. 14 wins for Chelsea, 16 draws, 12 wins for Chelsea, 14 wins for Liverpool. I'm going to back a 0-0 draw between these two here. I think this could be quite a cagey game, quite a boring game of football. And I don't think these two are going to play the nicest of football. And that's why I'm backing a 0-0 draw between Liverpool and Chelsea. Brighton Wolves is up next in the one of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, I should say. 3 o'clock kickoffs we've got, and this is one of them. Brighton did lose away at Newcastle last time out. Newcastle pretty much confirming their safety in the Premier League for another season. Otherwise, it would have got a bit tricky, especially if West Ham and Spurs won this weekend. Wolves did draw at home to Sunderland, an okay point there. Chucks their tally on to 18. Can they get to the magic 20? By the end of the season, they do usually do okay away at Brighton, or give them a game at least. 1-1 draw between the sides. Earlier in the season, 10 wins for Brighton, 11 draws, 4 wins for Wolves. Last time to play at Wolves on the 10th of May was a 2-0 away Brighton win there. 2-2 draw between the sides on the 26th of October 2024. Brighton unbeaten in 8 straight Premier League meetings with Wolves since December 2021. Brighton drew 4 of their last 7 Premier League home meetings, with Wolves 2 points behind 6th place Bournemouth with 3 games left. They're still in the fight for Europe, still in the fight technically for Champions League football. As we all know, Villa are going to win the Europa League now. Winless Wolves in their last 19 Premier League away matches, approaching their all-time record. Just scored 7 goals in 17 away Premier League games this season. Already relegated, of course, on 18 points from 35 games. Rob Edwards has won 3 of 24 games in charge since taking over in November. I'm going to back Brighton to win this. I'm going to go for a 3-1 home Brighton win here and knock Wolves over quite comfortably here and give them the best shot of getting UCL football next season. Fulham-Bournemouth is one of the other 3 o'clock games then, in what is a bit of a mid-table clash, but Bournemouth still fighting for Europe themselves. Fulham only 4 points back actually in 11th, but I think there's a few too many teams in between Fulham and Bournemouth for Fulham to try and get European football, but never say never in football. 3-1 win for Bournemouth early in the season. Last Sunday play at the Cottage was a 2-2 draw between Fulham and Bournemouth. 2 wins for Fulham, 5 draws, 7 wins for Bournemouth. Fulham failed to score in 5 of their last 7 Premier League matches, have just won once in 6 meetings at Craven Cottage. Raul Jimenez scored 5 goals in his last 6 Premier League games against Bournemouth. Bournemouth 15 match unbeaten run is the longest in their top flight history. Junior Krupi's 12 Premier League goals this season matched the record for most goals by a teenager in their debut season. Bournemouth, the first side ever to have 2 teenagers scoring back-to-back Premier League games. Krupi's 12 Premier League goals make him only the 6th teenager to reach double figures in a single season. I'm going to back a 1-1 draw between these two. I think this could be quite a cagey game of football, and that is what I'm going to back here between Fulham and Bournemouth in this one. A 1-1 draw between these two. Sunderland-Manchester United is the final 3 o'clocker then on Saturday afternoon. Man United have actually scored in their last 23 league matches. their longest run since 2008, back when Fergie was in charge. Hope he does get better with the illness he has been having, or whatever he suffered that made him go to hospital last weekend. Sunderland have not beaten Manchester United at home in the Premier League since February 2016. Sunderland have won at Newcastle and beat Tottenham at home in recent weeks, despite their defensive problems at the back. Bruno Fernandes leads the league with 30 big chances created, 2 assists from the all-time record, I should say. Michael Carrick has won 10 out of 14 Premier League matches, earning more points than any other side since mid-January. Benjamin Sesko scored 7 goals in 595 minutes. Under Carrick, won every 85 minutes, completed the first league double over Liverpool in a decade. Last weekend, United did beat Sunderland early in the season by 2-0. 3 wins for Sunderland, 2 draws, 12 wins for Manchester United. I'm going to back and probably sit on the fence in this one. Sunderland quite good at the Stadium I like, and that is why I'm only going to back a 1-1 draw here. I'm going to sit on the fence again in another 3 o'clock, and it's going to be a 1-1 draw between Sunderland and Bournemouth, Man United. Into the 5:30 kickoff we go then, and we start at the Etihad, where Manchester City take on Brentford. Man City will be looking to win this. They are unbeaten in 15 at the Etihad, scoring at least twice in 13 of those matches. Hardly leads the Golden Boot race with 25 goals, 3 clear of Brentford's eagle, Thiago Rayan Cherki, ranks second in the Premier League for big chances created this season, with 18. Being very impressed with him so far this season. Phil Foden has scored 7 Premier League goals against Brentford, his second most against any opponent. Eagle Thiago has 2022. Imagine if he did have 2022. He's got 22 Premier League goals this season, second only to Erling Haaland. Of course, Brentford scored 18 in the final 50 minutes this season, second most in the division. Brentford have also been awarded the most penalties in the Premier League this season, with 10 earlier in the season. Man City did win this by 1-0 on the 5th of October. They also beat them in Carabao Cup as well by 2-0. 2-2 draw. Last did play at Brentford last season. 2-1 home win for City as well in there. Last Sunday play at City in 2024. 7 wins for City, 1 draw, 2 wins for Brentford. Good about City to win this. I think it'll be tighter than people expect. We're going to go for a 2-1 home Manchester City win in this one, and beat Brentford comfortably and enough to pile the pressure a little bit more on Arsenal. Burnley versus Aston Villa is next at Turf Moor. Burnley already relegated, and Villa facing the Thursday night hangover as they absolutely trounce Forest in the Europa League by 4-0. Burnley themselves have been on a horrible losing run. Villa probably think they've already got top 5, and I probably would agree with them. I think Bournemouth can get Champions League, or one of them sides can get Champions League if Villa win the Europa League, which is pretty much guaranteed now because they're playing some farmers in the final. That is Freiburg. 5th sit Villa, 19th sit Burnley. Burnley haven't won in 10 and lost their last 5 straight games. Conceded the most penalties in the Premier League this season, Burnley, with 7. Scored just 3 goals in their last 5 Premier League matches. Reached the Europa League final with a 4-0 win. Did Villa, I should say, with their second leg win over Forest on Thursday. Villa did beat Burnley on earlier in the season at Villa Park by 2-1. Last time to play at Turf Moor was a 3-1 away Villa win in August 2023. 2 wins for Burnley, 4 draws, 6 wins for Villa. I'm going to back Villa to win this one. Could go free 2-0 away victory for Aston Villa in this one and knock Burnley over quite comfortably. And back Villa to win by 2-0. Into the next 2 o'clocker then, which is Crystal Palace taking on Everton. Everton technically still fighting for Europe. Yes, they've dropped down to 10th in the table, but they're only 3 points off Bournemouth. Crystal Palace won just 1 of their last 12 Premier League home meetings against Everton. Palace played their Conference League semi-final on Thursday, leaving just 3 days of rest before this one, similar to Villa, of course, and Forest. Glasner has reached a final in each of his 4 full seasons as manager. We'll have to wait and see if he can do it this season, get Palace. Did they get into the Conference League final? Oh my god, I should know this. They did. Yeah. So Palace will be in the Conference League every season. Glasner has got his team into the final. Palace probably have a bit of a Thursday night hangover, but if they can get a trophy, that's all they'll care about, and get some Europa League football next season as well, which they will happily take. Everton, Tierno Barrow scored a brace off the bench against Manchester City on Monday. A gift from Mark Guehi to maybe gift Arsenal the title. We'll have to wait and see if that could prove costly come the end of the season. 2-1 Everton win early in the season over Palace. 2-1 away Everton win over Palace on the 15th of February 2025. 4 wins for Palace, 11 draws, 13 wins for the Toffees. Yeah, I'm going to back Everton to win this. Palace will have a bit of hangover from Thursday night. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Everton away win here and beat Crystal Palace in this one. So, yeah, backing Everton to beat Crystal Palace here by 2-1. Nottingham Forest play Newcastle next, and Forest will be looking to win this after playing absolutely horribly on Thursday night, or last night I should say, against Aston Villa, losing by 4-0. Newcastle did beat Brighton by 3-1 as well. 13th sit Newcastle at the moment, 16th sit Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest never beaten Newcastle at the City Ground in the Premier League era. Forest lost 4-0 to Villa in the Europa League semi-final 3 days ago, when we reach Sunday, of course. A win will take Forest above Newcastle in the table. Newcastle won all 5 previous meetings, with Forest scored 17 and just conceding the 10 goals. They haven't kept a clean sheet, Newcastle, though, in 6 consecutive matches. Anthony Gordon potentially being swooped by Bayern Munich. We'll have to see if that comes in the transfer window, or if that story develops any further. Anthony Gordon scored 17 goals this season, including 10 in the Champions League. 4 wins for Forest, 1 draw, 8 wins for Newcastle. 2-0 win for Newcastle over Forest earlier in the season. Last time to play at Forest was a 3-1 away Newcastle win there. I'm going to back a Newcastle win in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 away Newcastle win, continue that good record they have away at the City Ground, and beat Nottingham Forest here by 2-1. West Ham versus Arsenal is the big one at 4:30 at contrasting ends of the table, really. West Ham fighting for relegation with Tottenham, of course. Arsenal fighting for that title against Manchester City. West Ham did lose away at Brentford, will be looking for a response, and now sits inside that relegation zone with Spurs' win away at Aston Villa. West Ham unbeaten their last 6 home Premier League matches, overall winning 3 of those. West Ham won just 1 of their last 14 Premier League home meetings, with Arsenal sit 18th in the Premier League with 3 games remaining. Have conceded a league high 7 penalties in the Premier League this season. Arsenal scored 18 goals in their last 5 Premier League visits to West Ham's home ground. Arsenal's 30 clean sheets in all competitions, their most since 93-94 season. 3 Premier League wins will secure their first top flight title in 22 years. Gyökeres has scored 21 goals in his debut Arsenal season, which is pretty good going as well. 2-0 win for Arsenal over West Ham earlier in the season. 5-2 win for Arsenal away at West Ham in November 2024. They did beat them 6-0 as well on the 11th of February 2024. 5 wins for West Ham, 4 draws, 22 wins for Arsenal. Going to sit on the fence in this one, go back a Desmond, which won't help either side. I'm going to back a 2-2 draw here between West Ham and Arsenal, which it could claw West Ham back to level on points with Spurs if Spurs do lose at home to Leeds, but I think Spurs are really going to start to cook. Now, if I'm honest, with De Zerbi in charge, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between West Ham and Arsenal. And into the Monday night kickoff, we have Tottenham taking on Leeds, of course, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2 wins for Spurs recently over Wolves and away at Villa, but that Villa game was basically playing Wolves pretty much again, with the way Villa played and the way that just Unai Emery started prioritising the Europa League game, which is fair enough because Villa haven't won a trophy in a decade, so we'll see how they approach the next few Premier League games with the Europa League final just around the corner. Leeds did beat Burnley by 3-1, and Michael Jackson's side. But I don't know why I started to sing there, but don't play Smooth Criminal, or do, because it's quite funny, Leeds fans. They won't be playing them again. 14th sit Leeds, 17th sit Spurs. At the moment, Spurs sit 17th with 9 wins from 35 league matches this season. Spurs just scored 5 goals in their last 5 matches. They've also won back-to-back Premier League games for the first time in 9 months. Won all 3 Premier League home meetings with Leeds, scoring 9 goals. Leeds scored 10 in their last 5 matches, double to Tottenham's tally in the same span. 14th versus 17th in the table. Last time to play at Leeds was a 2-1 away win for Tottenham. Last time to play at Tottenham was a 4-3 win back in 2022. 6 wins for Spurs, 0 draws, 2 wins for Leeds. I'm going to back Spurs to win this. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home Spurs win. I think it'd be quite a comfortable win for them and Roberto De Zerbi's side in this one. So back in Spurs to win by 2-0 over Leeds on the Monday Night Football. Thank you very much for watching my Premier League Game Week 36 predictions. We might have an earlier Premier League predictions next week, as I might include the Manchester City Crystal Palace game in there on the Wednesday next week, of course, which is a massive, massive game for Manchester City in their title race and one of their games in hand as well. So who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? Let me know down in the comments and who's getting that last spot in Europe. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for the Middlesbrough Southampton watch along and probably a Bolton Bradford as one as well if I can get things sorted quickly after the game. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll speak to you all on the next one.